So what we'll find sometimes with some agents that come in, for example, in our agency, there's a 15 to 20 day onboarding process. They're learning how to sell, which products to sell. There's lots of live training opportunities to learn how to sell, examples of real life presentations to listen to kind of accommodate, get ready to what to actually expect if they sell over the phone or they sell face to face. But there comes this point as we get closer to the deadline of taking action. We're close to 15 days or close to 20 days. And the fear of taking that first step out the door to sell is so paralyzing that it prevents otherwise good agents from getting out there and seeing if they've got the stuff to be successful. And more importantly, or equally important, helping people who need and depend upon you to do the job. So this fear of taking action is real. I've had it happen in business models that I've looked before. In my business where I aggressively got ready, I was very excited to go, but then just at the last minute, pull the trigger, pull out of it, and then just forget about it. The problem with many of the fear of taking action issues result from is, I think, kind of this next issue, which is a slant towards perfectionism, okay? This idea that if I take action, I have to have everything perfect about my presentation, perfect about my product knowledge, perfect about how to deal with every single objection. While you should practice perfectly, the reality of this business is you never learn the entirety of it until you take action. It is the paradox of success. It's the paradox of performance-based activities. You don't get really that good until you do the thing. So what does that mean? When you first start, you're as worse as you're ever going to be. But the good news is you rapidly improve. So a couple of examples on this. I do jiu-jitsu. Not to bore you guys, talk about it a lot, but it's the performance-based thing in my mind that I greatly relate to. What we see from people who are white belts that come in and start doing jiu-jitsu, they start to learn the escapes, the sweeps, the submissions, is that they're fumbling. They're very spazzy a lot of the times. They're easy to deal with if you're an upper level belt and you've rolled 100 times plus. But what happens is those white belts, as they get spanked on the mat and get submissioned over and over again, they learn from that experience. And over the forthcoming months, they're not as much spazzes. They relax a little bit. They learn how to escape. They learn how to get out of certain bad positions. They learn to stop making those, again, basic mistakes. And they rapidly improve, interestingly, at a higher pace than an upper level belt, right? So the improvement process when you're new is very rapid. But the way that you learn and get better in jiu-jitsu is getting on the mat and getting into a sparring situation, rolling is as we call it. You're not rapidly going to get better until that happens. Likewise, in the insurance business, you can take a strategy, a plan, education, training, classroom activity, role-playing, but it's for nothing until you step out and take a chance on yourself and have that, here's the thing, a leap of faith to take a chance on yourself to put it into action. And what I've discovered here too, in my own self and others as well, is we have this perspective of what this business is going to be like. We kind of envision in our mind's eye the worst of the worst circumstances, rude prospects, calling us names, disrespecting you, hanging the phone up, and just being smothered, and just destroyed emotionally and having no confidence in ourselves. I think a lot of us kind of purport the worst circumstances from happening. And again, what good training will do is try to deconstruct that kind of worst case scenario stuff. That's why we use a lot of our training that we listen to real life sales calls face to face and over the phone, because it makes the idea of taking action a little bit easier, right? So I think good training should help overcome that. Listening to real life calls should make it realize like, hey, that's no big deal. Ride-alongs are certainly something that's very accommodating and helpful. But you still, even with all this stuff, have to take a step forward for yourself and take that leap of action into the business and be completely comfortable with sucking. There it is, sucking. You're not going to be that good, okay? But I assure you, as I've seen hundreds, if not thousands of times before with successful agents, you rapidly get better. You rapidly improve. And what's great is there are people out there that will buy from you even if you think you did a terrible job. Why? Because relatively speaking, You are the expert. You've got a license. You know a lot more about insurance than they do, and they still see you as somebody who is a pro. And it's from those repetitions of getting out there, seeing the people or calling people and selling over the phone, same process, that you will rapidly improve your game, that you will rapidly get better, and that you will have eventually a sense of automation with how you do the process of the sales presentation. And that's a powerful position to get to, but it only occurs when you take that leap of faith, okay? And every single person who is successful in this business, everybody that has a YouTube channel in the insurance space that makes a lot of money, channel or otherwise, they were faced with the same set of circumstances, okay? They had to decide, am I going to do this thing? Am I going to take action? Yes, I'm painfully aware I don't know everything, but they still did it because lots of different things in their mind where their hope outweighed their fear. And that comes down to the same thing for you guys. There is literally no difference.